Hello everyone. I pre-shuffled this time, but I'll do one more just so it's timely. Okay, let's get down to it for today, whatever it needs to be. Right. Quickly, just two more. Oh, three more. It's the order I wanted things to come out in. Yeah. And one more for this final. Yeah, okay. Well, let's get into this. Yeah, this seems like a pretty hard time for you guys. You guys just kind of had a wrench hit your plans, but you're still moving. So it's chaotic. It's like you're on the clock, but everything's falling apart, but that doesn't mean you have to stop working. You know, you gotta, all this has to happen at the same time, and it's very flustering. And, well, you may have felt like you could have done something to prevent this, and that might be something you're beating yourself up over right now. Generally, I think that's the case because your priorities are probably a little over the place too. You know, mentally or internally, I wouldn't say imploding because that's not the right. I just mean more like you're spiraling a little bit in your head right now about this stuff. That's pretty clear. Now, I wouldn't be 100% bogged down in it in the sense that like it's it's like a math test. When it's over, it's over. The time only goes as long as it does. So right now it's hard, but it's on. From what I can tell, it seems like it's all kind of within a timeline. So difficult, yeah. And it's probably not working out very well for you right now. You know, I think that's my impression is it's just like you kind of hit a brick wall and you're like, when nothing forward looks like it's going to be necessarily easy to solve. That doesn't mean it's over. It just means like, yeah, this is kind of a messy time for you, you know? Like in general, I would acknowledge that. You got the 10 of Wands. It's like, yeah, things are hard right now. And to be honest, it might be because you weren't clear with yourself for a while on what you needed to do and how to do it. And, you know, it's kind of probably put you in a bad spot because of that. You know, it's a lot of like, well, maybe you didn't even see that this was going to be a problem until it is. And now it's a problem. And it's like, well, okay, what do I do next? Now, yeah, I think the whole point is you just want this to work out very clearly. You just want things to kind of work out and smooth over. And you might be working specifically with a person right now where all of a sudden there's this big scandal and breakdown and you're not really sure what to do out of it. And it feels like, I don't know, like some sort of big, maybe you did something and the truth came out. Maybe it's more like everybody just kind of saw it a different way. And now it's like, oh, what do we do? Or whatever. Like some big thing kind of came to light that's causing a bunch of problems. And generally, you just want everything to work out. You want things to go back the way they were. You know, maybe I don't know. Sounds kind of like some sort of infidelic-like situation, but I don't know. I don't judge either. I really don't know. This is a very big upset time from a lot of people right now. It's pretty in code considering when I'm recording this at least, which it's timeless, but like the energies you're tapping into. King of Pentacles, yeah, so it's definitely a period of loss, whatever's going on too with this. Yeah, it sounds like a breakup or something, you know, which genuinely, if that's the case, I'm sorry, you know, that's Temperance. Yeah, it's kind of, it's not really as much in line with, say, strength as much as it is just kind of like a period of reflection and balance, you know? There's a balancing going on with whatever's happening. Let's look into this a little more because, like, that's, yet again, I'm kind of given the the burglar alarm diagnosis. It's like, you know, there's a problem if you're here. Let's try to get a little more clarity. I'm going to say it's about a person, a thing where you might have flipped a little bit or whatever, and it kind of backfired way bigger than you thought. Let's get down to clarifying. Yeah, I want to look into the Wheel of Fortune right now. I think that's probably the best to follow up on. Oh, some cards falling out. That's good. Six of Cups. Okay. I think this has to do with something coming back around with somebody you know. That would be my impression. I got a lot of cards that fell out, but I don't have a placement for them. So I will tell you them thematically. Yeah, let's see. Sorry, it's really hard to pick them up off the ground. Okay. Yeah. And in reflection, this is about a tower moment. So let's see where we're at. Okay. Two of Wands. Yeah, that's a balancing situation. Two of Swords. Yeah, that's, you know, that's some pretty strong energy there of kind of letting the truth, you know, I think with this, it's like something's not facing the truth, and then it's about a balancing of that occurring. This is the order it came out to, by the way. So Queen of Cups in reverse. Yeah, a lot of emotional turmoil internally. It's more like your internal world is sad, and, you know. Six of Swords. Yeah, it's about transition. Knight of Spheres. So, I mean, but Knight of Spheres and the Star. There's a chance something else is going very well because of it. Or at least it's about making a decision to move forward in some ways. I mean, it's a tower moment, so it's easily about, you know, getting somewhere else a little bit better long term, but through some hard means. So that's just another kind of mini reading. But let me get cards that are like actually involved in stuff. That I'm gonna take that as like a clarification of the Wheel of Fortune. Makes sense, you know. But let me get back around. Just do like a single card, because I'd like to be more specific with everybody here. Okay, it's a clear. Yeah. Six of Wands in reverse. Okay. Let me see. I want to get the Seven of Swords, and I want to get the King of Pentacles clarified. So Seven of Swords. Oh yeah. Seven of Swords with the Two of Swords. This is definitely about something coming to light that was hidden before. Yeah. And Chariot. So it's gonna have a swift end, and yeah. Somebody's going through something really karmic. Because we got adjustment. We got adjustment and we got temperance. This is about, I mean, we pulled up the Two of Wands, we have the Two of Swords. We have the Chariot twice in the reading. A lot of wand energy too. Wands and swords. So it's a lot of passion and thinking. So yeah, this sounds kind of like, I don't know, somebody, whether you or somebody else, it feels kind of like there was something, I don't know, like an affair or whatever that kind of came to light, and now it's like, well, what do we do? Because like all this is out in the open now, and everything just kind of falls apart because of it. It's a hard week for whoever is watching this. I'm just going to be honest about it. I'm sorry. But let me, in that sense, let me do a 4-day. And actually, you know what? Before we begin this 4-day, let's get the Four of Wands clarified, because I think that's the most important thing. I think a lot of people are going to want to understand more about, like, what's the context to get into here, other than I messed up, you know? So, Four of Wands. Oh, yeah. overthinking. You might have overthought your way into this position for sure. But you also could have just been honestly worried it was happening this whole, like it could have been something like a car kind of coming at you slowly in the distance, you know, and you might have been you putting it off. I want to say so, but it seems pretty faded. You got the star again, so yeah. I don't. Um, my implication is if I take these cards and put them back, they're meant to come back, and they don't need to be reshuffled because the energy is already at play. It's just more like seeing where the appropriate place is. Okay, so I think it was meant to happen, whatever it is. Doesn't mean it's any less hard. Let's get a 4-week. Okay. So I think you're kind of falling out of a stage of obsession. That's kind of probably what got you here, is there was this obsessive like connection to whatever got you in this situation. More reason it could have been an affair. Could have had a very passionate relationship that just kind of started taking the wrong priorities, you know, and took over other parts of your life. I don't know. Let me see what's going to happen next week. Week 2. 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, wow. Okay, now I wouldn't go for the 5th, but this is just too many auspicious things at once. Now, Queen of Cups upside down, so this is a pretty hard time for you emotionally, but then like you go to the Sun, which is really good. So this needed to happen. But Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So week 3 is definitely going to kind of come back around and be a little bit more of a hiccup. I feel like the whole point is this is a hard week for you because right now you're facing the consequences of this decision, and it's a very blown out kind of thing. It's a lot of bad stuff that I think just needed to happen, but it's rough right now. You get some relief by the 2nd week. Things really clear up and move where they're supposed to go. But then you might hit a snag again, kind of coming you back around. But I really would not be worried because this was the last card for that was the universe. So like you're finally clear to go wherever you need to. And behind that, whether it's actually going to be the 5th week or not, but I consider this to be the overall rating, you got the Ace of Cups. So yeah, somebody watching this is hitting a dark night of the soul. They might have themselves, if I'll just be honest, screwed up, you know, and that don't take that personally. We're human beings. Sometimes we get ourselves into trouble, and we may have not understood how we got to that point. It could be that somebody else kind of screwed up with you. That's another part of this, I think, too. Like somebody really massively messed up. But my impression is there's some sort of really contentious relationship things that happened. Like I don't know, you had your one big final fight and things kind of broke up from there. Or you just kind of realized that the person you were with was doing all the stuff you don't like. You know, it could be you. I give that honesty. Nobody wants to hear that kind of stuff. Nobody wants to hear a tarot reading where they're not just like, oh, you're moving to your best timeline and like the future. You know, it's like, I get that. But to get to our best timeline, sometimes we gotta like face certain things. Talking personally too, you know, it's like, it's hard to say. I want to say whatever happened right now sucks. And you feel terrible about it, even if it's not your fault, whatever it is. But it is a blessing in disguise. It's not easy, but I want to say that's the case. I'll give one more pull from this deck, different deck altogether, just to kind of see. So, yeah, is this about you? Is it about something else? Oh yeah, yeah. That's yeah. Okay. 7 Cups is about illusionary success in reverse. So yeah, I think you realized it just wasn't what you thought, you know, and it's this big, like, oh my God, what do we do now? You know, I put all this time and energy in this person and I didn't even know them, you know, it might be something like that. Yeah. Well, one last card for like a solid set of advice. And right now, that's the whole point, is that like something was hidden. The truth's got to be faced in a balancing kind of way. how can we best do that? How can we best face whatever's hidden in true balance? That's important, you know, especially if it's like our fault. What do we do? What do we do to really get ourselves back on uh, track here? Well, okay. You gotta know a lot of this is in your head for sure. You've been worrying about this, I think, more than enough. If anything, you might just be. My impression is that you're having trouble taking the fact you were wrong in some capacity of a relationship or a situation, and that's more what hurts you than even the fact that whatever happened, or maybe that you signed yourself up into something. The point is, I feel like you had a wrong judgment call, and you're getting back more into alignment, and that sucks because you're beating yourself up over it. You know, like, well, I didn't, you know, I tried my best, I did all the good stuff, and yeah. So I would be, you know, I always advocate to be a little nicer to yourself, always. And, yeah, this came out. This kind of fought me one time. It came out again, but yeah, that's, as I said that, just kind of shuffling through. You know, I think that's the case. Is be compassionate for yourself in general. I mean, understand that you can kind of let go. I think that's the point. And I am not giving anyone an easy task right now. If this is your reading, you have a lot to let go of, and a lot of it might be very personal, very tied to your ego. More than that, when I say ego, I mean more like you might be someone who really has their performance and their identity tied to who they are, you know. And I would take a moment to understand that you're a human being. You're not your thoughts or even your actions. You're just, you know, you're like everyone else, and we're all doing our best together. And you're allowed to make the same mistake twice or however many times. You're allowed to honestly just kind of mess up and not know what you were doing, and that's okay. But I think the whole point of this is that the worst part about this for you is just the fact that you were wrong, not necessarily even what it means. I think what it means is something very annoying and drawn out for this week, and that's not fun. Because, like, I can't give you, oh, it's better by X date. It's just, you know, it's going to be a little bit of purging, and then you get to a nice clearing where you're going to feel better about yourself. But that's the situation right now. I would personally recommend to take care of yourself as much as you can. Now, I get you might even be in a situation now where you've kind of taken that ability away from yourself. Maybe you're, you know, you're in some financial hot water too. That's the other angle of this. But I'm going to take this as a relationship thing, because there's not like a ton of pentacle influence here. I mean, there's this. So, like, I don't know, maybe this is a breakup that leads to something financial later. But frankly, I think it's more like, you know, you're taking a far bigger hit emotionally than anything else. And it's because of a lot of games or whatever that happened the wrong way, you know. And I would take this moment to reflect and let go as much as you can. Just try to let go of this situation. That doesn't mean give up. That doesn't mean, you know, go numb. It means you do what you can to accept this is where you are, you know. That's hard, but it means you'll finally have a floor beneath your feet that you're standing on. You'll have a direction that's where you rebound off of. And I think that's the most important part of this is, you know, you've been in your head with these things. You might have been kind of too scared to confront your situation up until now, which is why you're in it. That's definitely a thing that people can do to each other. You know, I've been there, absolutely. There's plenty of ways we get ourselves roped into stuff by trying to avoid it. I would give yourself a moment to be present with this situation as much as you can in compassion, even if it's your fault. The most important times to be compassionate are when we believe we deserve it the least, because that's when we are the least supported. That's when we will learn the worst lessons and reinforce the worst patterns. You can't do that to yourself. You need to be brave and find ways to be strong the correct way for yourself. And this is one of them. This is have grace with your decisions and your path, and know that you're still supported, and loved. And it will work out, especially with how this is going. It's going to work out. But this, yeah, this might be a hard time for you. But understand, people care. I'm here. I get it. I really do. I feel for anybody reading this that resonates, because you know what? We all go through stuff. We're all alive. It's a hard process. You know, life is, it's a constant phase of birth, you know, and birth is agony. So it gets hard. It gets hard, and people tell you not to complain and whatever, but you know, it's because they don't get to themselves. And I'm giving you the space to say that I accept whatever you're going through, and you know, in my own way, I'm here for you. I'm here for you in the ways I can be. This is how, and I hope it helped.